On a cold, desolate night, the moon hung low in the sky, casting eerie shadows on a lonely stretch of highway. The air was thick with silence, pierced only by the soft rustle of leaves and the occasional hoot of an owl. It was on this night that a young woman named Sarah found herself stranded on the roadside, her car having broken down just a few miles away from the nearest town. With frustration mounting and no signal on her phone, Sarah decided to hitchhike. She hoped for a kind soul to stop and offer her a ride. As time dragged on, the annoying chill of the night seeped into her bones, but she kept her spirits high, waving at every passing vehicle with a hopeful smile. After what felt like hours, headlights finally broke through the darkness. A rusted pickup truck slowed to a stop beside her. The driver, a middle-aged man with a scraggly beard and deep-set eyes, leaned over and offered a crooked smile. "Need a lift, sweetheart," he said, his voice gravelly and rough. Sarah hesitated, sensing something off about him, but desperation overrode her instincts. She climbed into the passenger seat, offering a polite thanks. The man grunted in response, and the truck lurched back onto the highway. The atmosphere in the truck quickly turned tense. She noticed that the man didn't make small talk, instead focusing intently on the road ahead. Every so often, he would glance at her from the corner of his eye, making her skin crawl. "Where are you headed?" she asked, trying to fill the silence. "Just driving," he replied, his voice curt. "You shouldn't be out here alone. Not at this hour." His words made her uneasy. "I know. My car broke down," she trailed off, feeling that her explanation only invited further questions. After a few moments of silence, she saw a flicker of movement out of the corner of her eye. In the back seat, covered under a neglected old blanket, she thought she saw the outline of something, a shape. Her heart raced as she strained to look back, but the man noticed and quickly changed lanes, moving away from the shoulder of the road where she almost caught a clearer glimpse. "Just an old toolbox," he said, chuckling darkly. "Nothing to worry about." "Right," she managed, trying to suppress the growing dread within her. Minutes turned into an eternity as they barreled down the endless road. Time began to lose meaning, and just as Sarah contemplated asking to be let out, the man took a sharp turn onto a narrow dirt path. Panic surged through her. Where are we going?" she stammered. "Just a shortcut," he replied, a strange glint in his eye. The truck bounced over rocks and potholes, surrounded by dark woods that seemed to close in around them. The trees twisted and contorted into grotesque shapes, the whispers of the night turning into menacing growls. The vehicle came to an abrupt stop, and Sarah's heart raced as the man turned to her. "You know, they say this place is cursed. Lots of folks gone missing around here." Terror bubbled in her gut as she took in his twisted smile. "What do you mean?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "Just that," he said, leaning in closer. "Once you're here, it's easy to disappear." In that instant, she realized the blanket wasn't hiding tools, it was hiding something much more sinister. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, Sarah pushed the door open and leaped into the darkened woods, ignoring the branches that clawed at her as she ran. She could hear him shouting behind her, but she didn't dare look back. She ran until she could hear nothing but her own ragged breaths and the pounding of her heart. After what felt like hours, she stumbled onto the main road, collapsing in front of a car that had slowed down. The driver rushed out to help her. "Are you okay?" he asked, concern etched on his face. Sarah looked back toward the woods, expecting the man to appear, a menacing figure out for her blood. But the only thing she saw was the darkness, swallowing everything whole. As she recounted her story to the police, they exchanged worried glances. When they investigated the area, they found the old pickup truck abandoned with no trace of a driver, only a promise of secrets best left undiscovered. The hitchhiker was never found. And in the back of Sarah's mind lingered a chilling thought: sometimes, the ones who offer to help have a darkness that runs deeper than the night itself.